Hello and welcome back to another vlog. I thought that in today's vlog I would answer a few of your guys' questions. So if you're not familiar with this, I basically ask you to ask me questions on Instagram, and then I basically answer it in a vlog. So let's not beat around the bush, let's get straight into it. So I picked out 8 questions because I find 10 is a little bit girthy. It's a little bit of a girthy vlog. So, question number uno, opinion on saunas for hypertrophies. So, I don't think it's their sole purpose. I think if it relaxes you, I think that it's okay. It's a bit like ice baths and all that stuff. It's kind of like, I don't really see a massive benefit for hypertrophy. However, I can see the benefit from just an overarching sense of just being a little bit relaxed, hence like you could basically be a little bit more recovered in hindsight. I don't think it has any direct research on actual hypertrophy, but obviously recovery plays a massive part or portion in hypertrophy, so I'm not against it. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for my clients, but yeah, I'm definitely not against it. Next question, how to ramp up steps when you work at a desk job all day. Quite simply, number one, you would have breaks. If you don't have breaks, then you need to assess that. You need to obviously voice that concern to your bosses. Look, I have no time to get up and move or have lunch break, right? Like when you're cooking lunch, you can basically just walk around the office or walk around your, I suppose you just said you work at a desk. So yeah, you could, like, if you're working from home, walk around, etc., go outside and take a walk. Alternatively, when you're training, you could basically walk in between sets. So you do like a set of pec deck, you walk in between sets, obviously making sure you have your bag nearby, otherwise some cretin will steal your machine. But yeah, I would basically do stuff like that. That's an easy way to ramp up your steps. It can get a little bit, it can get a little bit like the other day or yesterday, I was at like 1800 steps by about 6 p.m. I was like, oh, fuck, I got to get to like 6 to 8. So yeah, it can get a little bit like that, but yeah, just going for active walks and kind of like, yeah, stepping in between sets is more than adequate. So should we still hit the anterior delt directly, or is this grown okay via pressing? It's funny because when you talk about like delt growth, when you talk about rear delt growth especially, it's kind of like rear delts get really like heavily hit on something like an upper back row. So when you're rowing in this position, bent over row, dumbbell bent over row, and whatever, rear delts actually get pretty well developed from that section. However, we're obviously in the mindset right now of you have to like isolate the rear delt. So yeah, like pressing will hit the anterior delt. Will it grow the anterior delt maximally? Probably not. If you have a weak anterior delt, I wouldn't solely rely on just pressing. I would have direct work in. That being said, I can't say I've ever coached someone who has weak anterior delts just because of pressing. So yeah, I suppose that's a decent answer in terms of like, well done, Jack, I gave a decent answer, but that's kind of a decent answer in terms of like, if it's weak, don't, because someone else is saying don't hit it, don't not hit it, like you hit it because it's weak. So yeah. Number 4, what signs someone's overtraining? Very, very simple actually. You would have decreased sleep, so you probably won't be able to sleep very well, waking up in the middle of the night. Digestion normally goes to shit, quite literally. That tends to be a massive one. Appetite gets pinned. Things like general lethargy throughout the day is obviously very apparent, and obviously the lack of sleep doesn't help. The really big need for caffeine in your day. Like brain fog. It's quite simple. So like when we look at like when your body's telling you something, so like when your body's telling you something about like overtraining or you need a rest day or something, your body will actively tell you. We're very stubborn though, so we don't actually listen to it too much, but your body's like alarming you at all times, like you are overtraining, stop fucking overtraining. If you don't listen to it, your body's going to deload you anyway. You're probably going to come away with a significant injury, or you're going to come away with something like the flu or a cold or whatever. Nowadays, the big C, not the big C, the big V, we'll call it. The big C is the other one. So yeah, like if you don't deload, your body will deload you for you basically. Would a cable incline press in a bench be more effective at covering the length and range of the upper pec? Like trying to bias a pec in the length and range is actually quite easy. You got to think that anything that's pushing weight down into this trajectory and then like staying there is in the length and range. You got to think that in the pec range, like they're short, so that's it. In the length and range, you've got like lengthened, and maybe like lengthened if you're doing something like a close grip variation. So yeah, I would say that it's more effective. No, I would say that something like a dumbbell is probably quite effective. So yeah, but again, working a pec in the length of range just is not simply hard. Otherwise, you just would not contract the pec. Yeah, like you can work most things, you could avoid that length and range. Like for instance, if you go for something like a bicep curl, you don't need to go to like the end range, right? And you don't need to pull it back, which will be the lengthening range, or lengthened range. Whereas this pec is actually very, very easy. So yeah, that should be okay. I don't think the incline press is more effective. Furthermore, it's actually a bit of a pain in the ass to set up. So next question. Do you offer business coaching or mentoring? So actually, yes, I don't really advertise it that much, to be honest, but yes, we do. We have tiered packages in terms of online coaching. So you just have like the basic package. You have another package, which is the middle package, which most people go for. And then you also have the first package is basically consult call coaching. The second package is more online coaching where everyone sits at. The third package is the highest package, so you get all online coaching and then you also get business coaching. Currently, we've actually just pushed our 20th client into full-time online coaching from that. So I don't really advertise it because I don't like the business guru mindset at the minute. The business mental mindset at the minute is basically sell, right? The thing is with coaching and that side of things is that we don't always have to sell because we are doing a fucking good job. So my mentoring is basically teaching you how to coach and teaching you to put systems in place because that's very important. Because if you're dealing with a lot of clients, obviously understand you can't spend the whole entire day on your phone. You have to do other things as well, especially like content create and social media and all that good stuff. And you have to have like things in place where you don't spend your whole time staring at your phone. Otherwise you're not coaching. So yeah, I do offer it, but basically we don't go into like just specifically the selling tactics. We go into content creation, actual coaching and programming. We go into system development, all that good stuff. Basically, marketing, how to market yourself to eventually sell. So we do offer it. Essentially, that could have been quite a quick answer of yes. I've been doing machined incline press for a while and it's regressing. What should I do? If it's regressing, dude, it kind of depends actually if you're in a massing phase or a mini or like a cut. I take it we'll just put you in a massing phase. If you're in a massing phase and something's regressing, you need to pull it out pretty quickly. I'd say I had the 3 strike rule. So like if something's like meh, right, okay, that's strike 1. Next week, strike 2. Next week after that, right, okay, let's get rid of that. So if it's like heavily regressing on the second run around, we pull it out straight away. So yeah, the thing is nowadays is that like we have so many machines and so many variations of like bits of like, for instance, we just mentioned above about the cable incline press. You've got a cable incline press, you've now got the machined incline press, you've got a dumbbell incline press, a Smith incline press. There's a lot of pressing, right, at incline variation, so you could just basically swap it out for one of them. Alternatively, you can move rep ranges and you can push in like tempoed work. So you can push in like paused movements as well. So you could have the same machine, but just go, right, okay, I'm gonna have 1 second pause at the bottom, reset the lift, and then try and go up from there. It probably makes sense to come away from it for a while, then go back into it. So yeah, that should be more than enough. I think we'll do one more question. So fine to eat whole protein intake in 1 meal. Could be still beneficial for gains, right? Beneficial for gains? Sure. Maximizing gains? Not a chance. Maximizing digestion? Absolutely not, because that would ruin most people's digestion. So yeah, I would say that spacing your protein out throughout the day. The thing is, I don't get with this. This isn't anything like a bad a dig at the person asking this. The thing that I don't get is that when you see other people doing stuff, as in when you see like the whole of the bodybuilding community recommending protein feedings and stuff, what makes you think that this is a great idea? It's a bit like intermittent fasting. Like, I technically do intermittent fasting, like in terms of like I will eat in about 20 minutes. I have woken up at about 6, so I've got like a 4-hour window where I don't basically eat, then I eat. But the intermittent fasting, when you're basically like, yeah, I'm going to spend like 3 days not eating, then I have one day, that just makes zero sense, because it's kind of like, what do you think you're benefiting? What do you think you're doing that other people, like, there's no secret sauce here, right? When you have to look at people who have been doing this for years and years and years and wonder why they got there. And I can guarantee they didn't get there from doing shit like this, right? So you have to look at shit like that. Like, you have to look at anecdote as well as like scientific literature. Both of them will suggest that this is a very bad idea. But like, could you build muscle from this? Yeah, probably, yeah. It's just going to be a literal pain in the ass. I will say that. Anyway, I'll see you in the next vlog. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you took something away from this vlog. Yeah, cool. See you later.